Buddhism is a religion that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices, largely based on the teachings taught by Siddhartha Gautama, commonly known as Buddha.
Buddhism first appeared in India when Siddhartha Gautama received enlightenment and became Buddha. He was born into a royal and rich family, but after he got married, he left his wife and son, and he realized that wealth and luxury did not guarantee happiness. So he went and searched for the key for happiness, which led him to become enlightened. He also found the middle path after many days of meditating. Buddha spent the rest of his life teaching the principles of Buddhism. He involved a community of monks and men to be devoted to practicing Buddhism.
Today, 350 million people practice Buddhism, and it has a retention rate of 39% in the United States. The best way to practice Buddhism is through worship. Many Buddhists worship at home and at the temple. At home, Buddhists put apart a side of their house as a shrine. This shrine consists of statues of Buddha and candles. At the temple, Buddhists worship by sitting on the floor with bare feet and facing a statue or image of Buddha.
Buddhism is neither monotheistic nor polytheistic. Buddhism does not depend on the existence of God or gods. As a result, it is non-theistic. This is why many people question if Buddhism is actually a religion. Instead, Buddhism focuses on the ways of life that lead to a state of enlightenment. While Buddhism admires different deities, they do not treat them like God in any way. Buddhists show respect and reverence to these deities by meditation and yoga rituals.
The Four Noble Truths are the foundation of Buddhist teachings: the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the ending of suffering, and the truth of the path that frees us from suffering. In other words, life is suffering, suffering is due to attachment, attachment can be overcome, and there's a path for accomplishing this.
In order to understand these truths and achieve these goals, Buddhists follow the Eightfold Path that contains statements that outline the basic principles of Buddhism. The Buddha taught how we can realize truth for ourselves and how the focus of Buddhism is on practice rather than belief.
Anyone can become a Buddhist by following the path of Buddha and incorporating his teachings and the core values of Buddhism into their lives. Buddhism does not force anyone into joining their faith either. Unlike other religions, Buddhism does not require its members to undergo certain sacraments or rites of passages like baptism in order to enter into their faith. Buddhism is mainly practiced in the continent of Asia, China having the greatest population of Buddhists. Buddhism has spread to almost every country worldwide. Additionally, Buddhism is an inclusive religion.
Furthermore, there are two strands of Buddhism called Theravada and Mahayana that do not differ in teaching, but only differ very slightly in terms of geographic locations. Mahayana Buddhism, being the most common branch of Buddhism, is practiced primarily in Eastern Asia. The Theravada Buddhism branch is mainly practiced in Southern Asian countries such as Sri Lanka.
Some popular Buddhist celebrations include the Buddhist New Year and the most popular Buddhist celebration worldwide, which is Buddha Day. Although Buddhism began 2,500 years ago, the teachings are strong today. There is a growing number of students and Buddhists around the world. As a way of life, Buddhism aims to teach people how to grow in maturity and wisdom so they can understand themselves better and learn more about the world in which they live in. Many Buddhist studies teach about everyday life and how to cope with the events and situations common to all people.
Buddhism might not be taught exactly the same way as it was centuries ago because times have changed and they needed to adapt to modern circumstances. However, it has remained true to the ancient teachings. From this basic level, Buddhism aims to help its students develop attitudes towards life and that will improve their relationship with family, friends, and other people in their daily lives.
Buddhism consists of countless layers of teaching on existence, the self, life, suffering, and death. Buddhism is not only about believing the teachings, but is also about exploring, understanding, and testing them against one's life's experiences.